on DreamTV and BTV. We stream live on www.imc.ug. A special good morning to wherever you are watching from. Someone recently was telling me, but Stella, when you are saying bye or when you're greeting, say hi to the people in Canada, hi to the people in the US. So tubabuuza ko nnyo yonna gy'osinzidde tulabira oba oli mu America mu nsi ya Trump nga gwe alaba ebigenda mu maaso awo kuba immigrants and all the directories that are going on, but Canada as well. We have the UK, we have Dubai, UAE, and all other countries. We thank you so much for being part of the show. My name is Bridget Stella here with Alex Simbwa. Now, before the break, we were still looking at the situation within Congo, Goma, and how it has affected the rest of the countries, especially within the East African community. Now, yesterday, we had the East African community leaders come together, and of course, a lot was being cited. But right now, the Rwanda-backed rebels have tightened control over Goma as the regional leaders come to meet. Now, there is one thing I wanted to say before we can continue with other stories that we have known, and we mentioned this a little bit in our first story, the bickering between Rwanda and Congo. So yesterday, the Rwandan president, His Excellency Paul Kagame, came out to put on X, formerly Twitter, to say that the need to ensure a ceasefire and address the root causes of the conflict once and for all. So his government, of course, has denied supporting M23 from the very start, despite reports from the UN experts who estimate there are up to 4,000 Rwandan forces in Congo. And Rwanda has accused Congo of enlisting Hutu rebels and former militian men whom it blames for the 1994 genocide. In that same breath, I'm going to ask our producer to put up the travel advisory that has been issued by the Rwandan government. Now, of course, this does affect the tourism sector, and this is what it means, because as of 27th January, the Rwanda government came out to say that the changes have been made, and they advise against all travel to Rubavu district, and this includes the town of Gisenyi and the border crossing point at Gisenyi Goma. And it has issued warnings and insurance and regional risks. Of course, they went ahead to show a map of the whole area of Rwanda, as you can see down there, citing all the issues.
So the place they are talking about is the red district there?
Yes, that is the point that they are talking about. So all activity pertaining to Lake Kivu.
Chigali?
Chigali is further.
Chigali is in the middle, so so
right here. So Chigali is
if you're
further.
traveling to Chigali, that's fine, but not to the border crossing,
but now,
especially near Lake Kivu.
The issue that we have is there are two sorts of activities that are going to be affected. We have Nyungwe, somewhere nearby. Nyungwe is where chimpanzee trekking happens, but also when you look up Musanze, that is where gorilla trekking takes place. Now, of course, it's not right here, but that could ideally be, yes, an hour or two away. Yeah, approximately 2.5 hours or 2 hours away from the points of those two national parks, and this could be an issue. But Rwanda has said that the two national parks are safe. The only activities they are going against activities near Lake Kivu, right there. All right, we head over to
South Sudan. South Sudan, there has been a plane crash in South Sudan, killing at least 18 people. The plane was a small plane, according to news coming from there, in a remote part of South Sudan. The flight chartered by a Chinese oil firm, Greater Pioneer Operating Company, had 21 people on board. including 2 pilots, said Gato H.P. Barr, the Minister of Information in the oil-rich state where the crash happened earlier yesterday. The plane crashed while it was taking off near the oil field to head to the international airport in Juba, according to news from the region. The UN-affiliated Radio Miraya cited a flight manifest that reported that victims included most South Sudanese, 1 Indian, mostly South Sudanese, 1 Indian, and 2 Chinese nationals. It wasn't immediately clear what the cause of the crash was. Authorities had yet to reveal the victims' identities as well. South Sudan, which gained independence in 2011, is a major oil producer in the region, and the East African nation has been trying to ramp up oil production and exports amid persistent cash flow issues for the government. You see, South Sudan originally got almost all of its money from donations. The US was giving them a lot of the money they had. Now, mostly also because the US was targeting their oil.
Allegedly.
Now, that comes to an end. It is not a... let me tell you a story that you may not know about. When Kony was a problem in Uganda, and Uganda was battling, fighting, and so on, we did not receive a lot of help from those countries. Military help. We would buy our own junk helicopters and so on and so forth. When it was announced that Uganda has oil, the US came out and sent experts in war to track Kony. They sent 100 of them. But the experts were not to hold a gun and do anything or participate in any military thing. They were supposed to help in planning, strategy, things like that. On the discovery of oil in Uganda.
And you're supposed to add allegedly.
No, I know what happened, so I cannot do that. You get so sometimes it's very hard to tell the motive behind whatever help that we receive or any form of assistance and so on. But the South Sudanese, for a period of time, used to dish out money like nobody's business. Lately, a lot of them have returned to their country, and the money is not as forthcoming as it was originally. Kale, katuveyo eruddeeyo tugendeko mu there are people you don't want to mess with.
And I've been reading this story and I was just laughing. Do you know, I feel like even with all the things he has signed within just the past few days, a week of being in power, I feel like they have been just things of undoing what
was done.
Yes, what was done by probably his own government and also the Biden government. Just it's a thing of showing I'm now in power. This is what happens. And of course, if you do not know who we are talking about Trump. And
now, go on.
No.
On the 6th of January, 2021, days before Joe Biden was sworn in or was inaugurated as president of the US, this gentleman went about making statements that led to the attack. This had never
Capitol. It had never happened.
Never happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in reaction to that, Mark Zuckerberg and his Facebook decided to suspend Donald Trump's accounts on Instagram and also on Facebook. Now, he promised to sue them. He did sue them.
Yeah.
Now he's president.
Yeah.
If he weren't president, he wouldn't get away with this. But now they are settling the case out of court for 25 million US dollars. 25 million.
Yeah.
Over what? A suspended Facebook and Instagram account.
Yeah.
$25 million. People have money to waste.
agree.
Eh?
And you know what? That's what I wanted to ask you. I'm like, do you think it
An
was
account, Facebook account,
and Instagram? You're forgetting
Instagram.
Instagram.
Not even Instagram.
But also,
Huh?
further to this, of course, they have been having a very sour relationship since. And in 2017, you see that Trump came out to call, uh, Trump had been highly critical of Mark Zuckerberg, calling him anti-Trump in 2017. But do you know the funniest thing? His own ally, who is Elon Musk, who now owns X, formerly Twitter, has his account, by his, I mean Trump, permanently suspended.
No, but it was suspended before he took over.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then what does that mean? Will his ally undo the doing or what? But don't you find this whole thing, let's leave alone now
Yeah,
Mark
25 million.
Zuckerberg. Yeah, because it could have been something from his lawyers. They advised him and said, you know what, judging from how we see things
Or
happening,
lose the case, it might be
yes,
much money. Why don't we settle it out of
let's
court?
just settle it out. And of course, I do not think, because they have the law, like they have things they follow. So I don't think that him being president, if it was in an African country, I would say, okay, that kind of bearing of him being president has a cause to it when it comes to the ruling of what will happen after court. But in most cases, well, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Don't go there. Do you
But-
know why you shouldn't go there?
Why?
Because this guy had cases against him. All of them were trashed because he became president. You go to the previous president, his son had issues. He forgave all of those cases and so on.
Yeah,
If he weren't president, it wouldn't have happened.
He pardoned
That's
his
America
son.
you're talking about. Pardoning your son. How different is it from your neighboring country?
I hear you. Also, the fact that he pardoned everyone who was included in the whole mess that happened,
That happened
in the Capitol.
that was an
on
offense
that-
against the state. You don't do that.
He has pardoned them.
Yes.
Okay.
So US or no US?
But you know, I feel like Trump has really been about exposing America. We used to have them at a certain level, and yet I feel since he came into power, it
There
has
is a lot
been-
of things. It's an ordinary country now.
Yeah.
They can
But
behave like a banana republic.
According to his claim, America has to be great again. So we look forward to that. But also, have you read about something that happened between him and Elon Musk? You would think they were going to be so close, but I don't know what Elon Musk did. But I think he's not in
His books, good
very
books,
very
yeah.
favorite books right there.
Okay, but the same Trump says he will send some migrants to Guantanamo Bay. Now, Guantanamo Bay is an American prison or facility in Cuba, okay, where they take high-level criminals. Gye bali abo nga muzzi wa misango wa lulango.
Yes.
Kati President Donald Trump alagidde n'agamba nti bazimbeyo migrant detention facility e Guantanamo Bay. Gy'agambye nti egenda kubeera nga ekuuma aba migrant emitwalo 3. Ategeeza n'agamba nti ejja kubeera ku naval base ey'Amerika e Cuba era ng'ejja kubeera nga eyawukana ne high security military prison. Era bagambye nti ba worst criminal illegal aliens abatiisatiisa Abamerika bagenda kuterekebwa ludde eyo. Guantanamo Bay ebadde ekozesebwa nnyo okubeera ng'ebeeramu ba migrants bano oba immigrants bano, era nga kigambibwa nti practice eno aba bitongole by'obwannakyewa bigikolokose nnyo because as usually say being a migrant or being an immigrant is not in the same category as being a terrorist, is not in the same category as being a, name it. It's not a crime that you want to...
But you're forgetting the illegal word. You are the one
I'm
last
the
time
one.
who was
Yes,
trying
but
to
it's not
remind me of.
Are all crimes the same? If they were,
According-
they would be getting the same sentences.
No, they are not.
They are not. Yeah.
And sometimes even the motive behind is looked at in the courts
Yes.
of law.
Yeah, so he said migrants could be transported there directly after being intercepted at sea by the U.S. Coast Guard, but they and kept in the highest detention standards that would be applied to them. It is unclear how much the facility will cost or when it will be completed, but Cuba's government swiftly condemned the plan, accusing the U.S. of torture and illegal detention on occupied land. That is another bit that really amazes me, that this is an independent country and the others have a facility here.
Yeah, and yet you're even making further plans of invading more of that independent country. Nga go to Delhi, you're like, yeah, that is where we are going to throw them out. It's like you are using another country as your trash can, for lack of a better word. But of course, they have come out to say, you know what, once this facility is expanded, we shall have customs and immigration to be the ones who enforce this practice. So it won't be the army or the police forces who are there to look after these illegal immigrants.
The country called Australia, before it was occupied by, of course, the Aborigines lived there, but before it was occupied by foreigners, they used to send criminals over there. You commit a crime in the UK, you are shipped or deported. You're shipped to Australia. Lately, Australia is a desirable place.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that went there originally were criminals.
No, okay. Right.
You're hearing that for the first time.
Yeah, and specifically because I know someone
Who
there,
is in Australia.
yeah, and who has been there for quite a long time. So you never know some of the people they are relating with who are initially are criminals, but who saw.
But that was a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. That's the issue. Criminality and what is in the DNA. Kali, we'll keep it at that.
Yeah.
We'll keep it at that. It's a Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. We are ending the long month of January.
Finally. Alex, I'm telling you, January has been so long. I even feel stressed out.
Is that bad or good?
No, it's bad. Even when we look at what's
Do you know there are
happening in
people?
Congo right
There are
now.
people who feel days should be longer.
Yeah, even me.
There are times when you feel your time is
times
insufficient
when-
and you want to have a longer day.
That's so true, but not
if
a
you look
longer
back
month.
at the end of the month and you make an assessment, what is your progress like in as far as your goals for the year 2025? Have you made some progress in there?
Yeah, why am I putting myself on pressure? It is only January, yeah? You want me to put myself on pressure at any time? No, it's only 31 days of the 366 to come.
Yes, but how have you used them? How have you used them? Can you look back and say, I achieved this, I did the other, that is done, this is finished, and so on? If you haven't seen that, then perhaps...
I've sought God.
Kwanukudde kubanga ekyanjawulo n'okusaba kwennyini bw'omaze okusaba ayanukudde alina kyagambye ky'oteekedde okukola. Okusaba kyeki?
What do you mean, Chechi?
You need the simplest definition of prayer.
It's speaking to your Father in heaven.
Not speaking, it's communication. Communication is very
so that
feedback.
Means it's two-way.
Two-way.
Yes, two.
Owulidde si kwogera bwogezi owulira alina kyayogedde.
Are you supposed to stop praying because
weeyigiriza okuwuliriza kubanga ebintu byonna Katonda by'anaakola ng'akukozesa ajja kuwa instructions.
Right.
Ajja katukola bw'oti.
But what's the way to pray about Congo? When we pray for Congo, what's the best way to pray? What are we praying for? Peace?
Yes. Let's get out of here. we want to remind you, first and foremost, the lunch hour fellowship this afternoon between 1 p.m. and 2:15. To remind you also of the overnight, Thanksgiving overnight on the 7th of February. That is next Friday between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Then the Agape Love dinner on the 14th of February. And then the Agape Love mass wedding. That will be on the 28th of February. Don't want to miss out on any of that. Otherwise, we'll keep it at that. God bless you. Bye-bye.